Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch a death battle, Optimus Prime vs Gundam. Of course, make sure to click on the link in the description below to go to the official release first, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, watch that there, then come back here and we'll watch it together. So, Optimus Prime from Transformers versus Gundam from Gundam, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know exactly how that works. So, I remember in a previous battle, we had Tigazord versus Gundam Epyon, didn't we? Wasn't it Gundam Epyon? So is Gundam a standalone? I mean, it must be just a standalone character too. I just don't know. Are a lot of the characters like that named Gundam something, but then there's just one Gundam? Like the Gundam? I frankly don't know. But what should be clear here, and what should be obvious if you've seen my channel for a while, is that I don't know these two characters. I'm not very familiar with Transformers. I've seen the first Michael Bay movie, and then I saw like a couple episodes of the cartoon, one of the cartoons, because I'm sure there are many, when I was really young at a friend's house, because I didn't have the channel growing up myself. But even then, it was never something that really caught my attention. It's just not something that I had an attachment to then or now. You know, no nostalgia really going into this. And I definitely am not familiar with Gundam, as made apparent by that whole beginning part. So there's nothing really that I could say at this point. I will say, however, that I am now on a 4 death battle losing streak, so I'm hoping that this will be the one to turn it around. People have said that this should be the one, but people always say that. And it's a funny little thing. Every time that I get something wrong, people say that I get it right. Not everyone, obviously, but like whether I get something right or wrong, I am both 100% accurate and 100% inaccurate, depending on who you talk to. Just one of those things about death battle where, you know, however death battle might rule the fight, there's always going to be a group of people who disagree. And so something to consider when your favorite character wins or loses is that you at least have people on your side and against you. It's just you're not alone in whatever you're feeling. You get what I mean? Anyway, as I don't have anything to say about this matchup though, with that, let's get to watching. And play.
Check out 23andMe, a DNA testing service that can offer insight into your ancestry, health, wellness, and traits.
Okay.
The 23andMe Health and Ancestry Service includes reports on how your DNA can influence your weight, sleep quality, sense of taste, and more. It's super easy to do. You just spit into the tube and mail it back to their lab to be analyzed. I learned a lot about my family tree, and I'm probably a little lactose intolerant. Order your 23andMe
Just
Health
a little.
and Ancestry Service
Well, that's good.
23andme.com/deathbattle.
My body can't process sugars that well.
23andme.com/deathbattle.
Alright, but here we go. Another death battle. It's time for Optimus Prime versus Gundam. Go.
Across this vast world of different nations with different people, it is the clash of opinions which truly divides us. However, there is one universal truth, which absolutely everyone can agree on.
I don't know.
Giant robots are freaking awesome.
Yeah,
Like
I disagree
Optimus
with that.
Prime, the
Sorry
original
guys, I know you
G1
said it's universal, but I don't care
and
for
the
that.
RX-78-2, the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
These aren't just any robots, they're the old school classics, the first of their kind, and we're in for a robo battle of East versus West.
Well,
see.
Optimus was originally a Japanese toy.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Of course, yes. Let's see.
Millions
I have no idea who
years
I'm rooting
ago,
for.
On a distant planet called Cybertron, a great unrest grew between two factions of robotic beings, the Decepticons and the Autobots.
I know
With
that
little
much.
warning, they found themselves entangled in civil war.
Led by that douchebag Megatron, the Decepticons started gunning down any bot they pleased for basically no reason,
Aw, man.
including some guy named Orion Pax, which will be important later.
Okay.
Rest in peace, Robro.
What Megatron didn't know was that this seemingly random encounter would end up reshaping the universe.
Thanks to a robot Gandalf, Orion Pax was rebuilt into something bigger, stronger, and way more recognizable.
Oh.
The newest commander of the Autobots had risen, Optimus Prime.
The Autobots will never sacrifice freedom.
Optimus
Okay.
is a powerful warrior with tons of awesome robo powers.
As a Transformer, he can scan nearby objects and morph his body to resemble one, becoming a robot in disguise.
Right.
His favorite is a classic 1979 Kenworth K100 tractor. An oldie but a goodie which sports 500 horsepower and can book it over 80 miles per hour.
Yeah,
He even
that'll
gets
help.
a trailer which, when he doesn't need it, mysteriously disappears into thin air. No, really, where the hell does that thing go?
I don't know.
I need to know.
More importantly, the life force of every Transformer resides in their spark, sort of like a soul. And Optimus is no different, except that his spark gives him a few unique abilities.
Okay.
Yeah, his spark's pretty rare. Compared to other robo people, it gives him increased strength, speed, and durability. He can shoot laser beams from his hands, fly with either a jetpack or his feet boosters, and move his limbs around while they're detached like some sort of ghost robot Rayman.
Interesting. Okay.
Ooh.
Optimus is referred to as a 0.1%er. That is how rare a being of his caliber is.
Is
Oh.
that what all those people on Wall Street were protesting?
Not
Even
quite.
then, many of Optimus's abilities are further enhanced thanks to his possession of one of the most powerful artifacts in Cybertron's history. The Matrix of Leadership.
Oh, yeah, you know, it's nothing much. It's just a piece of robot god.
The Matrix is a conduit for the power of Primus, the creator of the Transformer race.
Oh.
With this, Optimus can heal some of his most grievous wounds.
That would help.
But not all the time. Like, you know, when he died.
And use the power of the Matrix to light our darkest hour.
Well, he has an impressive arsenal to hopefully keep that particular problem from coming up again.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, never again. Regardless, he wields the Ion Blaster, a giant death cannon which Prime one-hands like a boss. This big old rifle fires bolts of energy strong enough to take down most Decepticons, and can even be fired into space from ground level.
Wow.
Even better, it never seems to run out of ammo. One can only dream.
Optimus Prime also carries numerous weapons composed of Energon, a raw energy force used by Transformers to power their technology and, well, themselves.
He's
Okay.
got a glowy Energon axe and Energon swords, perfect for slicing up robots of all sizes. And I guess they'd probably work pretty good on people, too.
Fighting fire with fire, Optimus Prime led the fight against the Decepticons for several millennia. Eventually, the war even found its way to our own Earth.
But
What?
we've got nothing to worry about with Optimus protecting the planet. He's tanked blasts that would tear other bots apart, like when this mega refinery exploded. It could be seen from outer space.
Oh.
He's punched
And he was
the
just
ground
fine?
so hard, the trees around him freaking exploded.
Child's play, Boomstick. He's strong enough to tip this large oil tanker, which, when compared to the real-life sea-wise giant, must weigh over 700,000 tons.
Huh.
He's tossed a satellite into orbit and punched hard enough to crack Six Shot's chest plate.
Who boasted that his armor was drawn from the compacted subatomic matter of a collapsed star. Just to
Oh.
let you know, such a star would have a density of over 300 billion tons per cubic inch.
Right.
While great density doesn't necessarily beget great toughness, this still means Six Shot's armor was 500 billion times more dense than osmium, the most dense natural material on Earth.
Take your word for
You're
it.
the most dense natural material on Earth.
What'd you say?
And our Robo Commander wrecked it. He's fast enough to catch up to this Decepticon space shuttle in just 23 seconds.
Given the size of the Earth here and the angle of ascent, we can determine he's moving around 125,000 miles per hour. He's also a talented leader, capable of commanding 1,000 battles at the same time via the Omniglobe.
What?
Like Skynet, but
How?
in a giant disco ball.
Oh.
He's used that
Okay.
crazy strength of his to punch through Megatron, who once tanked an explosion big enough to knock Cybertron out of orbit. And thanks to the weird robo magic of the Matrix, he's even defeated Unicorn,
Unicron.
who's basically a giant robot Satan who eats planets.
Oh.
This guy is unstoppable.
Not necessarily. Optimus is certainly powerful, but after all is said and done, he has one major weakness.
To violate that law would destroy our honor.
He's just too nice.
Oh.
Yeah, he's kinda all about the whole honor and fair fighting thing, which kinda screwed him over more than once, and even gotten him killed multiple times.
Oh.
Plus, he
Oh,
killed
yeah.
himself once just because he accidentally broke the rules in a freaking game. Yeah.
But
Really?
when his back is to the wall and all hell's breaking loose, he'll fight to the end, riding the eye of the storm.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
We'll now have to see what Gundam has.
In the year 2179, humanity has embraced the stars.
Well, mostly.
Right. After a somewhat united humanity expanded across the solar system, the ideologies between those on Earth and those in space began to drift apart. A new space-noid republic, the Principality of Zeon, arose to challenge the Earth Federation.
Space Noid?
Okay.
They like the Domino's pizza mascot
No.
in space?
No, more like space Nazis.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, well, I guess it's no surprise that they started a war by gassing a populated space colony and dropping the whole thing on the planet.
Wow.
Man, that's messed up.
Yeah.
But that's just how it started. For the real star of the show, some smart guys put their heads together and came up with the coolest thing they could think of. Giant fighting robots!
Right.
These were mobile suits, and one of Earth's nuttier engineers had developed a suit which would put all others to shame. This was the RX-78-2, otherwise known as the Gundam.
There have been lots of mobile suits named Gundam, but this
Okay,
was
yeah.
the original granddaddy of them all.
This experimental mobile suit was hidden on a remote colony, but before its maiden voyage with the equally classified White Base could begin, it was caught in a surprise Zeon attack.
With just 2 Zaku suits, the Space Nazis wiped out almost all of the White Base's military crew. The only people left to save these secret projects were civilians, who had no idea these things even existed.
Among those who rose up was a young boy named Amuro Ray. Brilliant, albeit standoffish, Amuro was actually the son of the Gundam's chief engineer, and had already stumbled upon the mech's coded blueprints.
So he grabbed the owner's manual, jumped in the Gundam, and flew into the fight. Damn!
Just like
not
that.
Too shabby for going off just the manual.
Amuro quickly adapted to its complex controls thanks to its learning computer system, designed so the Gundam itself can learn its pilot's limitations and compensate.
Oh.
Its body is made of a super durable Luna titanium alloy called Gundarium.
Yes.
Of course.
Yet another fictional metal that's way better than anything in real life.
For weapons, it's got twin 60mm Vulcan guns for ears. It's got a shield that can block shots strong enough to take down warships, and a gravity hammer, a supersized flail that's rocket propelled. Whoever came up with that is my goddamn hero. Same with the guy who built the ultra-destructive beam rifle.
That would be the ingenious Dr. Minovsky. Thanks to him, the beam rifle is a marvelous feat of weapons engineering. Minovsky had developed a way to miniaturize the enormous megaparticle cannons found on warships without losing any power.
The result is a Gundam-sized rifle that can take down entire fleets of ships all on its own. It's like having a pistol with all the power of 1,000 tanks.
A single shot could easily tear through a 13,000-ton Musai-class warship. Given the official stats of this ship, to tear it asunder like so would require a strike worth nearly 9,000 tons of TNT.
The beam rifle only has 16 shots, but who really cares when you just need one?
Last but not least, the Gundam carries 2 retractable beam sabers.
Cause you can't have space battles without royalty-free lightsabers.
But all these amazing weapons would be useless without an exceptional pilot. Despite still technically being a civilian, Amuro became the main pilot for the Gundam. Turns out, his skill was mostly thanks to his previously unknown abilities. Amuro was a new type.
Like, Pokemon?
What?
See, apparently humankind was never meant to live under gravity's pull. In space, without it literally weighing down their souls, some humans developed psychic powers.
Oh.
That is the dumbest backstory for why someone gets powers. And we've heard a lot of them with. So what, he can like read minds or something?
Sort of.
Okay.
These powers and their capabilities have little definition, often differing between different people. Most new types can instantly understand each other upon contact, even drawing kinship between sworn enemies. Amuro's abilities in particular grant him something akin to precognition. He can
That's
predict
useful.
exactly what will happen on the battlefield and where his enemies will be.
Wow.
And can capitalize on it if he reacts fast enough.
How could he possibly predict I'd attack from the other side?
He shot down targets too fast for the eye to see and navigated his friends through a collapsing fortress with no casualties. By the end of the war, his own reflexes were pushing the limits of the Gundam itself.
A magnetic coating was added to the Gundam to compensate, reducing the suit's friction and increasing its speed by 27%.
So how
Over
fast is
14
it?
years of military service, Amuro became a legendary pilot.
How fast is
he
it?
even
Can
learned
it
how
go?
to use these super fast funnel guns with his psycho powers.
Speaking of speed, the Gundam is
Thank
comparable
you.
to the red Zaku piloted by Amro's rival Char, which is 3 times faster than the standard green model.
During the first large-scale battle with mobile suits, a Zaku flew through the battlefield in 7 seconds.
By comparing the 1,072-foot-long Magellan-class starships in the distance, we can tell the Zaku flew over 7 miles. This puts the standard Zaku's top speed just under Mach 5. When tripled to compare to Char, this means the Gundam can move at least 11,000 miles per hour, 15 times the speed of sound. Eyeballing it with Amro's new type powers and magnetic coating, it's possible the Gundam can move as fast as Mach 25. Though anything over that would put it dangerously close to re-entry speed.
Wasn't
which
Optimus
its
like
chassis
100,000?
cannot survive on its own.
The Gundam is strong enough to lift and throw this goofy mobile suit, and tough enough to power through a magnetic field that's 7,200 degrees Fahrenheit. It survived plenty of really big explosions, including a detonating asteroid and a nuclear blast which wrecked Amuro's home colony. I bet it could wipe out the space Nazis all on its own.
It nearly did. Amuro and his Gundam were instrumental to the war effort. It doesn't matter how much the Gundam was burned. It would always stand up, dispel the fear, and fly.
Dang it, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Son of a gun. I'm gonna lose.
All right, the combatants are
I'm not
set.
confident.
Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first we have a
First,
commercial
let me
anyway.
transform your eating
So
habits.
let's skip past this. It's time for a death battle and pause. All right, prediction time. So it's difficult because I didn't get quite the feats that I wanted. I didn't get anything that like solidified either combatant for me. So what I'm thinking right now, after doing something during the commercial, I think that Optimus is going to win. Because if we're comparing, like, I didn't really get a solid strength feat, like, nothing's coming to mind at least, for Gundam, but, like, for Optimus, you know, like, the whole moving that giant ship thing, and, well, I mean, that's the only thing that I can really remember, but that would take a lot of strength, and I just don't remember anything from Gundams, and then I thought that Optimus had, like, 100,000 miles an hour, like, for his movement speed, whereas, like, Gundam was 11,000 miles per hour, something like that. I could very well just be completely misremembering, but yeah. It seemed to me like Gundam's blaster was stronger. Like, Optimus Prime's blaster, whatever, it can shoot through pretty much any Decepticon or whatever, or it could take him out, whereas, like, Gundam's just, like, pierced everything. And part of the issue, too, is I don't know how Gundarium or whatever compares to what Optimus Prime is used to going up against, or what Optimus Prime has himself. I don't know. I think that Gundam's precognition will really help, but if Optimus Prime really is like 10 times faster than him, that might not matter too much. And considering that Optimus, well, I just think we have to consider too that Optimus Prime has a ton more experience, considering I think it said he was like 9 million years old, and he's actually had experience through who knows how many battles, you know, but apparently he was like, what's it called, coordinating like 1,000 battles at a time. They said like how much cognition that would take, precognition or otherwise, the fact that he's able to think about that many things that quickly, I feel like that gives Optimus Prime an advantage. I think that Gundam did have a little bit more versatility, just thinking about, you know, the blaster and like the sabers, but if Optimus's brain can really like behave that rapidly and accurately, and if his own blaster is pretty powerful, and if he really is as fast as I think he is, then, you know, that with his experience, with the fact that he has some regenerative abilities, I think that he can win. And then I'm trying again to compare like different durability feats. I mean, we know that Optimus has died several times, but that aside, durability feats, like he survived an explosion that was seen from space. The only other thing, it was like Gundam's explosion, like they said it was a nuclear explosion, things like that, but I don't know. And then Optimus could punch the ground and make just like nearby trees explode, basically. That's not the same as blowing up an island with a punch or whatever, which I'm trying to pay attention to now whenever anyone blows up an island. But I didn't see a comparable thing from Gundam. So maybe I could very well be missing very obvious things. I think that if Gundam wins, it's going to be due to his precognition and the fact that his blaster is so powerful. But I'm going to say that Optimus Prime is going to win. So fingers crossed for me, fingers crossed for Optimus, and play.
working something out, Sayla. It's more than meets the eye.
Get your butt back to White Base. If there's trouble, we can't send backup.
He's so subtle.
Let's roll.
And he doesn't have the trailer on the back.
It's an enemy bomber. I told you.
Optimus, why are you fighting him, though? I get there's some story on Gundam's end. What's on your end?
There you are.
Oh, I'll admit, I forgot about the Energon weapons.
I have been in battle for countless eons.
I'm really hoping you're gonna win, Optimus. I don't think your vehicle form's gonna help you that much. I think you should probably just stay in your robot form for the most part. Which for the most part he is. Oh.
Not today.
I thought he was gonna pull the sword out and like hit him with it. I didn't know it was that limited on ammo.
I hate gravity.
Can your psychic stuff not work with gravity? Or was it just has to be awakened outside? I just didn't remember hearing anything about that. Now he's just punching it. Please win, Optimus.
Stop that.
Come on, Optimus.
Just bad.
I must stand, so you shall fall.
Did he just Iron Man him? I didn't know he could do that. Did he win? Please say he won. Ah! The string is broken! The string is broken!
He's got the
Yes!
power!
The Gundam was
Thank
an
you,
impressive
Optimus.
machine, and Amuro was a skilled pilot, but Optimus's millions of years of battle experience completely overshadowed
Yes!
Amuro's 14.
Yes!
Also, we already know that Optimus was over 6 times faster
Yes, I remember
and
that!
9,000 times stronger.
Holy hell! Who knew Optimus was so freaking buff? But the Gundam held plenty of its own advantages. With Amuro's super future sense powers, he could keep up with Optimus's speed. And with the Gundam's firepower, who cares how much it could lift?
Unfortunately, the Gundam's limited ammunition meant this couldn't last. And even then, Optimus
see.
could certainly survive a shot from the beam rifle.
Remember that refinery explosion Optimus survived?
Yes.
The one you could see from outer space?
I do!
This blast left an enormous gash on the planet Cybertron. To measure the power of this explosion, we needed to compare it to the curve of the planet. Now, Cybertron's size is pretty inconsistent throughout G1 Transformers history.
Yeah,
but
as it
even
would
when
be.
using the alternating sizes between the cartoon and the comics, the blast is far more destructive than the beam rifle in both cases.
And Optimus just walked right out of that bitch. And this isn't some weird outlier just out of the comics either. In the cartoon, Megatron survived a blast that pushed Cybertron out of orbit. And he's pretty comparable to Optimus.
To be fair, the Gundam boasted some impressive durability feats too.
Like when Amuro accidentally blew up a Zaku's nuclear reactor right in his own face.
Ow.
Hey, give him a break. It was his first time.
This explosion created a hole in the space colony which sucked out Amuro's father.
Whoops.
Oh.
On the bright side, he's gonna save some money
Did
on
he die?
Father's Day gifts, right?
And with his heightened mind, we deduced the scope of the explosion.
It's over 150,000 kilotons of TNT. That's 10,000 times more powerful than the bomb that dropped on Hiroshima, but still nowhere close to the refinery explosion Optimus survived.
Also, the Gundam couldn't dodge Optimus's ion blaster forever. It was fast enough to strike targets in orbit from ground level. That puts its laser speed over 3 million miles per hour.
Was it fast enough, or did he just have good enough prediction? I mean, I guess, how do you predict that? You could just move however you want.
Optimus's time in the Omni Globe proves he can think way faster than Amuro.
And just to blow your mind even more, in order to obliterate Unicron with the Matrix, the energy output must have equaled more than 40 Yoda tons.
See, I don't remember the
TNT.
Unicron part.
Star Wars game.
I remember the unicorn joke.
And you know what they say?
Don't remember any of that
Size
Matrix
matters
stuff.
Not, especially when Optimus has defeated opponents as big as Devastator.
The Gundam was a powerful mobile suit with some astonishing firepower, but was ultimately outmatched by the Autobot's strength, speed, durability, and experience.
I'd say Optimus was primed for this fight.
The winner is Optimus Prime.
Claps for Optimus Prime.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to see the exclusive commentary on this episode, just click that little box over there.
What?
And if you want the battle music for yourself, click the link down below and you can get it off of iTunes.
Yeah, you can go do those things, guys. Next time on Death Battle. The first ever live-action death battle. Nightwing versus Daredevil. That's right. And yeah, as of yesterday, okay, sorry, I'm recording this September 27th. So as of yesterday, it was live on YouTube. And so just keep in mind that I will be watching that. Well, I'll be watching that whenever, but it'll be uploaded, my reaction to it, a week from when this video is uploaded. So just keep that in mind. So about this death battle, thank goodness I was finally right. I didn't want to have 5 losses in a row, so yay. I mean, and I am glad that I didn't see anything in Gundams that really solidified anything for me. I mean, what I was worried about was I didn't see anything that specifically said that he wasn't better. I didn't see anything that said he was better or necessarily that he was worse. It was just kind of an absence of things. So I was more afraid that I missed something. So I had to rely on the things that I did see or that I thought I remembered, like the speed and the strength and stuff like that. I didn't remember like Gundam 70 tons or whatever strength feat. I don't know what they're referring to there. And I forgot about Unicron, the Unicron feat, whatever that was they talked about, where he Iron Manned him with his chest. And I didn't remember the Energon stuff when I was going through my predictions. So I'm glad that even without that, I got the right thing. Again, like I said, it just makes me happy when in my predictions, I'm able to talk about a lot of the things that they end up talking about in the conclusion. So talking about his experience with the, again, whatever it was, where he 1,000 battles at once, with his age and experience as it was, with how powerful his own beam was, the speed, you know, things like that. I'm glad that I was able to remember those things at least, bring those back to my mind and share those with you guys. Definitely things I could work on, but yeah. And then I will still touch on this, like, with the explosion thing, they said that he survived an explosion that could be seen from space, and I believe that's all they touched on with it. They didn't go into how big the planet was at the time. They didn't go into how powerful the explosion was. They didn't go into... Well, I mean, here's the thing. I think that stuff is okay. I think what they probably should have included, though, was Optimus' state after the explosion. Because if you say he survived an explosion that could be seen from space, I mean, that already is a big feat, you're right. But whether he just walked away like he did, or whether he was, like, barely clinging to life, that makes a difference, it does. So I think that they should have included something like that. Because it's not like they're not known for throwing in subtle lines. Like, they could have just said, survived an explosion from space and just walked away, you know, just like that, and then move right on. You don't have to give it any more attention. You know, again, you don't have to go into, like, how big the planet was or how devastating the explosion was, but I feel like knowing how well Optimus survived that explosion could have made an impact, so I personally feel that should have been included in the analysis portion for Optimus Prime, but, you know, clearly some people in the comments are going to disagree with me, but that's fine. You do you, I'll do me. As far as other stuff goes, like, I don't think that there were other things that jumped out at me as being misleading in this, so... Not that that part was necessarily misleading, I just think that it deserved at least that much more clarification. With the Gundam stuff, again, I feel like I was missing a lot of feats, or rather what those feats actually meant, but that's more on me, you know? trying to think. I mean, the speed thing, they ended up saying flat out like 11,000 miles per hour, which I was really waiting for that. I was waiting for them to go over speed, and then they gave me like 5 times the speed of sound or something, or Mach 5. They gave me some other thing, and I was like, I hope that you clarify, because I don't know how to convert that. So, you know, because if you remember like a number with one system of measurement and then another number with a different system, like, it's hard to really use that to your advantage when you're trying to come up with who might be the winner for a fight. Yeah, so I am glad that I got it right, and I'm glad that I got it right for the reasons that I did. So now about the animation itself. If I'm remembering correctly, people told me that this was not done by Torian, but was instead done by some animation team at Rooster Teeth or something like that, considering they're all partnered and everything. And you know, while Torian was really good, I will say that this was really good too. Like, I was nervous, honestly, when I heard that Torian was no longer going to be animating these, because even though I heard, you know, a team was going to be working on it, Torian's good at what he does. So I'm glad that this turned out the way that it did. I did think that it was a good animation. I appreciate it again. Like, I don't always appreciate when they switch styles, but it seemed to work this time. Again, when you go from how you see Optimus Prime in Gundam to when you see whatever the pilot name is, whatever that dude is who's in Gundam, you know? Like, it fit for me. So that was good. And then, you know, just how they laid everything out together, the kind of development you see throughout the battle, again, you know, with like this person trying this thing, this person trying this thing, the kind of banter that went on, I thought it was enjoyable. As far as story goes, I wish there was just a little bit more. Like, there's definitely story here. I just want to come out a little bit more, you know? Because it's basically like Gundam showed up, and then it was like, oh crap, there is another enemy here, and she's like, I told you, you know, and then they start fighting. But I didn't get where, like, why Gundam was there, or why Optimus just decided to suddenly attack him. And I feel like if he had known that there was a human in there, he probably would have been a lot more hesitant. Honestly, part of me was afraid that during the battle he'd discover that the Gundam pilot was a human, and that he would stop fighting, and then Gundam would kill him. I would have been upset with that. But that was one of my concerns. But I don't know, so I just don't really understand the story of why they were there. And I know that that doesn't matter to most people, but it matters to me. However, with that said, I already said that I enjoyed the animation. It just would have been better had I had some better reason for them both to be there. Or not even just be there, but to fight. Because again, Optimus, he just kind of attacked for some reason. I thought he was about to say something pretty early on in the animation that would explain it a little bit more, but I think he was just saying how much experience he's had fighting Decepticons. I don't think he necessarily thought that the Gundam was a Decepticon, but yeah. So I don't really have much else to say on that front. Glad I was right. The analysis I didn't think was too misleading for either of the characters. I don't know, it provided me with enough information, but plenty of other battles have provided me with enough information. I just didn't use the information properly, so hard to say. The story I thought was a little bit lacking, but it was okay. It didn't ruin the animation. Again, I still enjoyed it. So for the next time, Daredevil versus Nightwing, but not only, or maybe Nightwing versus Daredevil, I don't remember the order. But not only that, it's in live action. Frankly, I'm concerned about that. It's the first ever live action, and so I am glad that they are branching out and they're trying new things, you know, because, you know, the 2D sprite battles can be really good, the 3D battles can be really good, the animated battles, like we saw with Afro Samurai vs. Samurai Jack, that can be really good, because that was really good. I enjoyed, like, the McGruff versus Smokey, that fight, and so I know that when they experiment, really good things can come of it. I mean, even Link versus Cloud, let's be honest, that wasn't the best. Like, it didn't look the best. The models weren't the best. The fight itself wasn't the best animated. But it's what started the 3D animated fights. And I think that that was a really good turn for the Death Battle series. So if this works out well, this live action thing, and they're going to do it in the future for other suitable characters, that's fine. And these two characters I picked are suitable for that because they don't have crazy powers. They're essentially like really good martial artists, you know, if you're gonna really dumb it down. But no like laser beams or anything like that where I would be concerned about certain special effects. So as long as they have good choreography and they can make it seem like the hits actually connect and have like power behind them, I could see it being well done. So fingers crossed that this live action death battle will be good. I'm really hoping it will be. It's not, again, that I would want everything in the future to be live action. In fact, I'd probably want it to be very sparing, as I imagine they would too, because I imagine that's... Maybe it's not necessarily more difficult than animating an entire thing. I don't know. I'm not involved in production like that. But it just would only fit for so many characters, and it would really limit the kind of area where the characters could be. So, yeah, like how much dynamic movement there could be throughout the fight is what I mean. So, yeah, I am looking forward to watching it, though. I'm just hoping it's good, and I guess we'll see. But I don't think I have anything else to say right now, so let me know what you guys thought about this death battle in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., so on and so forth. But as always, don't be a dick. How about that? I'm just throwing it right out there, being blunt. Just don't be bad. Just don't be a bad person. Cool. And with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!